Hello and welcome to another Nimble video tutorial. In this video tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how powerful Nimble widgets are and how easy they are to build using the Nimble framework. Everything I'm going to show you today is not in any way related to React.js or Vue.js support. This is a Nimble exclusive. You probably won't see anything as cool as this anyway in any of those other frameworks. So sit back and enjoy what I'm about to build for you today. Today we're going to build a dynamic menu system that's based off of a series of icons. You click on the main icon and the other menu items will expand from it. I've enhanced Nimble to include a scratchpad, and it's going to be like critical for us in building widgets and being able to play around with things before we actually build the final prototype. So what we need for this widget is an image, and actually several images. We're going to take a normal image box. We're going to set the size to 32 by 32 pixels. We're going to go to the style property of this graphics control and set the border radius to 15 pixels. And what that's going to do is make it look like a circle. Now we have our icon. We need to make a copy of it, and we need 8 more just like it. So we're going to copy 8 more pictures. Into the dialog, and then arrange them in a circular fashion around the main image. The main image is picture box 1. I'm not going to name or give these images a proper name because this is just a video prototype to show you how easy and powerful the widget designer is when you, if you want to make really nice widgets in Element. I'm sure you'll properly name your controls. So the idea is we arrange these guys in a circular fashion so it doesn't look too shabby. A little bit shabby, but you get the point. And then we're going to take the main or the first image that we brought in, and what we need to do is make it slightly larger. So we're going to make it 36 pixels, and we want this image to always remain on top or above the other images. So we'll set the Z index of it to 10, and that should be all we need to make sure it stays on top of the other images. Center it, make sure it's centered. And basically this is the layout that our menu system is going to appear in when it's in use. Now we need a container for this widget. And we all know containers are divs. So we bring in a frame or a div into the scratchpad, and what we're going to do is size it and then highlight all of these icons. Press Ctrl X to cut, and then Ctrl V to paste it directly into the frame. Oh, but we made one mistake. We pasted into the frame, but it's not embedded, it's a group. So let's repeat that. We'll Ctrl X to cut it out of the frame as a group, and then turn on the embed target property. Once we've turned that on and then paste it in, it is now embedded in the frame. We'll position all of our icons snug to the upper left corner, change the size of our frame so that it's, you're not wasting real estate. And that basically is the bare bones of our widget, our custom widget. Now let's bring in some images. I already downloaded a few or all the images I need for this. So the first thing we need is the hamburger bar. That gets loaded into the center. And then we can load all the other menu items around the edge. We have a profile icon. Notes. A timer. These were just random icons that I selected just for this demo. I may use some of these if I ever build this menu or use this menu system for an app. But I just wanted you to get a good look at how easy it is to create something as cool as this. Okay, the last image I have is an encrypted messages, I believe. Yep. And now we have all of our image loaded for our widget. Nimble, because it's already a polished, designed framework and API library, has the ability to help you script some of your code. As I said before, the idea behind this widget is you're going to click on the center icon. The sub icons are going to slide from under it or around it to form the circle. When you click on it again, it will collapse. So we're going to add that trigger on click, and then we're going to also add custom events. The custom event for that hamburger bar will be open menu. Then we're going to add another one, close menu. These are the triggers that will move the icons around into their position and recess them under the hamburger bar when you want to close the menu system. But Nimble has the ability to help script some of this for you. So we can, to demonstrate that, if I highlight only the icons within the frame, I can right click and instruct Nimble to script code for me. And in this case, we want to script a slide to method. Oh, I seem to have only selected the frame. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. You highlight all my images and then script slide to method. So for all of the picture boxes that I have selected, it will build the animated command to slide them into this location, their current location. And that's all we need. That represents the open state for this menu system. If I copy all that code and reproduce it and make a copy of it, and then I can reuse the same command with new coordinates. And what we want is all the outer icons to slide under the first or the main icon, which in this case is picture 1. But it's 4 pixels larger than all the other icons, which means it's a 2 pixel offset to have it truly centered. Which is coordinate 63, 61. So if I copy those coordinates into the left top position for all of the images within this script, what it means is I've just made a command sequence to slide all of the outer images back under the main hamburger bar image. And that's basically all we need to trigger the open and close event. So this script represents the close menu event. And this script represents the open menu event. We no longer need that. So now we have the open and close menu events complete, and we just need to trigger it. As I said, Nimble will pass the event, a normal JavaScript event, as well as an item object. The item object is Nimble's ability to resolve the form and control that triggered the event. This keeps you from having to look at the event.target.id property. I kind of resolve it for you to save some typing. So for our example, what we need to do is check the item and the item ID to make sure it's valid. And then we need to toggle this. So You can, I didn't make a variable. I'm gonna just store a variable in the menu state. I'm sorry, on the user object. It's gonna be called menu state. And basically what it's gonna do is just toggle, just so that we maintain the state of the menu. So what this says is the menu state, if it's true, turn it to false. If it's false or undefined, it'll be true. And then lastly, we need to trigger the event based off the state. So if the menu state is true, we want to trigger the open menu event. To access any event on any dialog, use the events command. Since the form name is already resolved in the item property, you say, give me all the events on this form. And then we have access to picture x1 open menu. When we call that function, we also want to send, of course, the event in item property that was passed in. We're going to copy that and repeat the same thing to the close menu event. So it toggles. I'm sorry I didn't give my controls proper names. These are the standard. The picture x1 is the standard name that Nimble will put on any control that you drop in. I was in a rush. That being said, when the menu state toggles to true, it will trigger open menu. When it is false, it will trigger close menu. And that is basically all we need. Let's save it. This is saved in scratchpad. You can clear the scratchpad and delete all this stuff at any time. But basically, before we clear this, we want to build. We want this guy to be built. This is our widget. So we're going to create a widget. We'll call it my menu. And now we're looking at our new menu widget. We'll save this dialog in case that we make any mistakes. We can come back to this, fix any of the code, any event, name the controls to the proper name so that everything is clean. But for this example, we want to get into and test this thing. So we'll open up a new form, switch to my widgets, and we want to drop this widget in. Oops, sorry, click. Once we click on it, we'll have to give it a name. Give the same name, my menu. And now the full working menu is in this dialog for our project. We double click on the hamburger bar. We will see all of the events have been imported with all the code and properly named. And we can build this project with a working menu widget. Press F5, save the dialog. Along with adding the scratchpad, I've also taken the time to add more functionality to Nimble that allows you to just view the source code. So in this example, we're going to go to desktop 2, but also view the whole entire program, and I'll let you look at the code itself. We're going to bring in form 1, call it my test. The startup dialog is form 1, and we're going to build it. The source code loads for you to look at when we're done testing it. And you'll see we have a fully working widget. If I click on the center icon, the hamburger bar, the widget will toggle. I probably should have alternated my toggle, then it would have closed on my first click. But basically we have a toggling menu system made in about 15 minutes. Pretty nice reusable widget. I can drag it into any project that I may want, and of course repurpose the buttons as needed and add events to it. A part of, like I said, some of the features that I've added was the ability to see the source code. In many areas, I've added a view source option into pop-up menus, and in this case, when I built the final application, I allowed it to load the full JavaScript file, and you'll see that entire widget, not the widget itself, I'm sorry, the entire application is only 800 lines of code. It includes the form, it brought in the widget, all the events, a little bit of comments just to keep things in order, and all the code is perfectly structured and formed without any error. The one error that we did have here was the one we know about with the ternary operator inside the widget source code. Let's double check that just to make sure I'm honest. Inside this widget source code, there is this one error because I used a ternary operator without setting a value. This is just hacky code, but I just did it for this example. So that's the error being generated on build. The Nimble widget build design. It doesn't get any better. Thank you for watching.